Barack and I were raised with so many of the same values. Like, you work hard for what you want in life. That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're gonna do. That you treat people with dignity and respect.
From a young age, my parents impressed on me the values that you work hard for what you want in life, that your word is your bond and you do what you say and keep your promise, that you treat people with respect.
Remember when Melania copied Michelle's speech word for word and thought nobody would notice? Well, the bill finally came due when Michelle Obama delivered what commentators called the perfect shade on national television, leaving Melania absolutely fuming. In the next 8 minutes, you'll see exactly what Michelle said that caused such an uproar, Melania's immediate reaction caught on camera, and the hilariously bad damage control that followed. This is the story of how a woman who barely wanted to be First Lady got publicly owned by someone who mastered the role. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Remember the 2016 Republican National Convention? That's when Melania Trump gave us all a masterclass in what not to do when delivering your big political debut. She stepped onto that stage looking like $1 million in her white designer dress, ready to convince America her husband wasn't the total disaster we all thought he was.
Barack and I set out to build lives guided by these values and to pass them on to the next generation because we want our children and all children in this nation.
Because we want our children in this nation to know that the only limit to your achievements is the strength of your dreams.
To know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
And your willingness to work for them. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
But within hours, her speech wasn't famous. It was infamous. The whole mess started when social media users began posting eerily similar clips of Melania's RNC speech next to Michelle Obama's 2008 Democratic Convention address. And folks, when I say similar, I mean ctrl+C, ctrl+V similar. We're talking entire passages lifted word for word about values, the importance of hard work, and keeping your promises. It was like watching a student hand in their homework after changing just enough words to think they wouldn't get caught by the plagiarism detector. Melania's speech was riddled with phrases, sentiments, and entire passages that were lifted straight from Michelle Obama's iconic 2008 DNC speech. The theft was so blatant, it was almost impressive. Side-by-side comparisons went viral faster than cat videos, with whole sections highlighted in yellow showing identical phrasing. Late-night hosts were practically salivating. This comedy gold had written itself. What made this political faceplant even more spectacular was the Trump team's response.
Obama's speech last night where she said that you're in over your head and the wrong president for the country.
She was over her head, and frankly, she should have made the speech live, which she didn't do. She taped it, and it was not only taped, it was taped a long time ago because she had the wrong deaths. And frankly, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for Barack Obama. See, we're standing in the White House. I wouldn't be in the White House except for Barack Obama because they did a bad job. Biden, she didn't even mention the vice presidential candidate in the speech. And, you know, she gets these fawning reviews. If you gave a real review, it wouldn't be so fawning. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive.
First, they tried the classic "who me" approach, acting like the similarities were just some wild coincidence. When that didn't fly, they shifted to plan B, blame some mysterious speechwriter. Suddenly, there was this unnamed scapegoat who supposedly inserted Michelle's words into poor, innocent Melania's speech without her knowledge. How convenient. Melania's team even admitted it kind of, but in typical Trump fashion, they tried to spin it like it was a coincidence or that someone accidentally wrote a few lines that happened to sound exactly like Michelle Obama. Talk about damage control gone wrong. The speechwriter they blamed may have been as real as Trump's natural skin tone. This fumbling response only poured gasoline on an already raging dumpster fire. The international press had a field day. Headlines around the world weren't about Trump's nomination. They were all asking variations of, did Melania Trump just steal Michelle Obama's speech? Spoiler alert, yes, she did. As one source bluntly put it, this was plagiarism pure and simple. No room for interpretation there. But beyond the immediate embarrassment, this speech theft established something much more significant, a telling contrast between these two first ladies that would shape public perception for years. Michelle Obama had built her platform on substance, tackling childhood obesity, supporting military families, and advocating for girls' education worldwide. Her words carried weight because they reflected actual work and genuine passion. Melania, on the other hand, seemed more concerned with looking the part than playing it. Her Be Best campaign never quite found its footing, and her fashion choices often generated more headlines than her actual initiatives. The plagiarism incident made it painfully clear. One woman was defining the role of First Lady with authenticity and purpose, while the other was, well, copying her homework. This stark difference set the stage for what would eventually become Michelle's perfect moment of revenge.
Actually be dangerous just to bring them back to their countries. Their countries weren't accepting them back until I came. You know, with Barack Hussein Obama, I call him the Great Divider. He's the Great Divider. Oh, what do you mean? She said bad about me. I can't hit back? Sir, you're winning. Just relax. Is that good advice? Is that good or bad advice? And Michelle hit me. I was so nice to her. Out of respect, I was saying that. She hit me the other day. I was going to say to my people, am I allowed to hit her now?
While Michelle took the high road publicly, never directly calling out the plagiarism, she didn't need to. Everyone knew. The incident hung over Melania like a dark cloud, following her throughout her time in the White House. For years, Michelle Obama held her tongue. She maintained her dignity and grace while the Trump administration careened from one crisis to another. But as they say, revenge is a dish best served cold and on national television, if possible. Michelle waited patiently for just the right moment to deliver a response so perfect, so precisely calibrated, that it would make Melania's plagiarism scandal look like just the appetizer to a much more embarrassing main course. The groundwork laid by this plagiarism fiasco created the perfect setup for what would later become one of the most satisfying moments of shade ever thrown in modern political history. When Michelle finally decided to address it, she wouldn't need to stoop to petty insults or angry tirades. No, Michelle Obama's approach to revenge would be as elegant and sophisticated as everything else she does, and it would leave Melania absolutely fuming. So there you have it, folks, the tale of two first ladies that couldn't be more different. Michelle Obama showed us how to handle someone who copied your homework. You wait patiently, then drop the perfect comeback when they least expect it. Meanwhile, Melania was left fuming in her designer outfits with nothing but a tantrum to offer. The whole mess reveals something deeper than just a petty feud. It shows what happens when substance meets style in a head-on collision. One first lady built a legacy on real work and authentic connection, while the other seemed more concerned with photo ops and fashion magazines. In politics, as in life, the truth always surfaces eventually. Michelle didn't need elaborate schemes or nasty tweets. Melania's own actions told us everything we needed to know.